Okay, I'm back with some revisions to my theory. And the title's clickbait. I just thought it would be kind of funny. Just like my previous video's title was clickbait, but people did not watch the video all the way, it seems. Some people did. So if you're here because you disagreed with my theory last time, like, that's totally fine. Like, legitimately, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I have revisions to it now, but to the people that were like, did you watch the fucking episode? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so, revisions to my theory. Number one, I don't think Will is tapping into Vecna now. I think he's tapping into the Hive mind. And this one's on me because I was kind of delusional. Well, not really. I mean, kind of. I was tired. We were doing like a 6-hour marathon. Because we had to take breaks between watching episodes. We were watching them all at once. So I did forget and mishear some things. And upon rewatch this morning, it's very clear that Will is tapping into the Hive mind and not Vecna. So I don't believe that Will is tapping into Vecna anymore. Number two, this is regarding the main critique I got on my theory, which is that the Mind Flayer gave Will powers. And I want to say, like, I agree with this one, and I also disagree. So, the thing is that I don't think that Will truly has powers in the traditional sense from the Mind Flayer. If you've seen the first Shadow, it really kind of gives an explanation on how people get their powers and what exactly happens to them. Like, it gives a little bit of, like, a medical explanation, in a way for, like, how people get their powers. So what we see in the play, number one, is Henry goes missing in a cave in Nevada. Hint, that's the cave that Max and Holly are in. He goes missing in a cave in Nevada, and he comes back with head trauma. Fine. Doesn't remember what happened. Fine. And he also comes back with a different blood type. Now, the thing is that I don't think that Will got this, like, Mind Flayer treatment where he got these powers in the same way that Henry did, because he did not come back with a different blood type. If he did, they would have made, like, I am 1000% sure. And, like, there's obviously, like, a margin of error here, right? But I am like 1,000,000 per jillion 1,000% sure that they would have mentioned it in season 2 if Will came back with a different blood type either before or after being possessed by the Mind Flayer that season, which is where I think he acquired, like, true sight, like a stronger link, I guess, compared to when he went missing in the first place when he got possessed. That's a whole different thing. So now, what do I think is happening, and how do I think that Will is using these powers? I think he's tapping into the Hive mind, not Henry. And I think that right now, Henry and Will are in a kind of battle, I guess, for control over the Mind Flayer, or not the Mind Flayer, like the Hive mind. Control over the Hive mind. But something that I think is going to come up later in the season, like, I think that once the Hive mind dies, and or Vecna dies, mainly the Hive mind, I don't think Will have these powers anymore. And so that's why I said that I don't think Will has these powers. I think, I was basically just trying to say, like, his ability to use these powers is completely dependent on the Mind Flayer, and he's not someone like Vecna or Elle, especially Elle, whose powers are seemingly independent of the Mind Flayer. Mainly Elle, because she has a different blood type that's established in the play, and she's not haunted by the Mind Flayer in the same way that Henry is during the play. So yeah, I think once the Hive mind dies, Will no longer have these powers, and that's what I was really trying to say. Like, at least the power of telekinesis, and probably definitely the power of true sight as well. I don't think that he will have that once Vecna once the Mind Flayer dies, once the Hive mind dies. Sorry, I'm really flustered. So, what I do think my final, like footnote on this, though, is that it's going to come up later in the season. I think that even though Will is a force of good using love to, like, kind of power and channel his ability to tap into the hive mind, I think it's going to come up that the hive mind and the mind flayer, the like controller of the hive mind within itself is evil. And I think I have a little asterisk. Last time I said like Will's too sweet to like really try and kill the Demogorgons in a way that emulates the person who like basically molested him. I don't think that's true. I don't necessarily think that Vecna invented that method of killing now. What I think is that it is the Mind Flayer's preferred way of, like, killing people via telekinesis, if that makes sense, because obviously Will is tapping into the Mind Flayer for these powers, but, like, his eyes are white, doesn't happen to anybody else, and that just kind of seemed like it came naturally. So I think that that method is just part of the Mind Flayer, and Vecna adopted it and made it his own for some fucking... He's weird. Henry Stop Grooming Children challenge, sorry. Yes, so I think the Mind Flayer is innate evil. I think Will's gonna have to grapple with the fact that he's using the Mind Flayer because it is evil, and that's like also first shadow fucking poster in the background. Dog. Sorry, I'm not salty. I'm not salty. Okay, well that is my asterisk, my revision to my theory, and so. Thank you. Also, this is just a theory, and if you disagree with me, that's fine, but please don't call me illiterate or stupid. Okay, bye!